Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, Bama fans' reactions to the Vol wins, and it says, warning, they're not happy. No, they're not happy, not one bit. And I told you I was going to go behind enemy lines and bring you some of the YouTube content that's out there from some of these Alabama diehards, and they're not one bit happy, as a matter of fact. And some of these reactions are pretty classic, and we'll get into that. But here's the thing. When you've been really good for a long time, you don't take losses well because you're not used to it. Actually, it kind of reminds me of a pretty girl that's not allowed to go into a club because she's gotten a little bit too old. They don't react to it so well.
But you're not God. You're a doorman, okay? You're a doorman, 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 doorman.
Yeah, they don't like being told they can't go in the club. So there's a lot of that. And that's going to be the reactions that we're going to see, are some more of the upset, kind of ticked off, and it's kind of funny. But we're going to show you some of that. And then I think later on, they're going to be dealing with the second stage of loss. And see, as a Tennessee fan, we know these stages pretty well, unfortunately, but I think we're not going to be going through these stages as much anymore, not with Josh Heupel and these guys. But I do know the second stage is depression, and they will be feeling this way.
And then depression set in.
Yep, they'll be moving on to that here in a few days once it sets in, the reality. But look, what they're going to have to face is something I've been saying for weeks and weeks now. There's a new sheriff in town.
That's an attention getter.
And yeah, we just got their attention. But anyway, let's take a look at this first YouTuber. And this fella is really not happy with the refs. So we kind of knew that was coming.
Normally, I wouldn't pull for Tennessee if they was playing Iraq. It's just not in my nature. But going forward, I hope Tennessee don't lose a ball game. Because I want so bad for Tennessee to beat Georgia in whatever fashion they have to do it. I don't care if it's bad, good, ugly, in a hurry. I don't care. All right, beat Georgia, get your ass to Atlanta. Get your ass to Atlanta with a different officiating crew. A different officiating crew. The officiating crew determined the outcome of that ball game 100%. Alabama was never leaving Neyland Stadium with a win. They was not going to have it. That ain't a close ball game. That is not a close ball game without that officiating crew whatsoever.
Yeah, needless to say, they weren't too happy. Now let's take a look at the reality of this. They're upset about the interference that was called when the guy tackled our guy as he was trying to catch the ball. The defender was facing the opposite direction of where the football was coming, did not look back, tackles our guy, has his arms around him when the ball arrives, because of that, the guy couldn't catch the ball. It bounces off of him, and Alabama has the interception and tries to run it back. And they're upset about that. When you look at the video, it was clearly pass interference. If it was not, I would say so. Now, what they don't want to talk about was the pass interference called on us in the end zone where the Alabama receiver pulled our guy down, literally pulled our guy down as he was about to intercept the ball, and they end up getting a free touchdown out of that deal. They don't want to talk about that little swing of 7 points. They want to talk about the swing of 7 points where the official actually got it right. Now, look, had it been a bad call, I would call it a bad call. I don't have a bit of problem saying whether a call's right or wrong. You know, that's just the reality. The beautiful thing is that we have replay. And when you look at a replay and the ball is 5 feet away and the guy's already tackling the guy, that's going to be interference every single time. So just deal with it. Don't tackle the guy first. You've got to either knock the ball away or you've got to hit him at the exact same time. If you hit him a second early, they're going to call it every time. That's just the reality. So I don't get this blaming the referees. And the other thing that they had a bunch of was delay of game. Well, you know what delay of game is? They have this big old clock, and it has seconds on it. And when those seconds go down to 0, that's a penalty, Alabama. So you might want to learn your numbers on that and understand that when you hit 0, you're going to get a penalty. Now, I know what you're going to say. It was so loud in there. We couldn't, you can still see. And I promise you, Bryce Young and the coaching staff can see that great big box with the numbers on it that they've looked at their entire life, And they know if it goes down to 0, that's a 5-yard penalty. So you just might want to learn that. That's not the ref's fault, I don't think. Unless you're going to say if it hits 0, then the ref shouldn't call that. So anyway, let's move on to the next fella.
Oh, my goodness. Everything, man. We lost to Tennessee. Oh, God. We lost to Tennessee. I mean, oh, God. We had it in the grass, man. We had it. Oh, my goodness, man. Tennessee, not Tennessee. After all the trash that they've been talking, we lost to Tennessee. Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. Oh, Lord. We lost to Tennessee, man. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. This damn defense.
All right. That guy actually has a pretty fun channel. He's heavy into Alabama. And obviously, he's more than upset. And here's the thing. He has the second best hat in these videos that I'm going to show you. That's the second best hat, which I really liked it, by the way. I always like the houndstooth. But I'm about to show you a guy that kind of takes the cake on hats, and he might be my favorite reaction.
There's not a lot that I like. I'm not one of those people who every time a team loses, it's the ref's fault. There's a lot of Alabama fans hollering that stuff right now. I'm not one of them. But I will say...
Wait for it. Just wait for it.
One of them. But I will say they made some errors in their calls. That's all I'm going to say. There were errors that went against Alabama that should not have went against us. Defense, we didn't put any pressure on Hendon Hooker. What is that? Is that play calling? Is that coaching? Is that just not executing? Somebody tell me. Here's Hendon Hooker in the pocket. This is Hendon Hooker standing in the pocket on damn near every play yesterday.
That's actually true. He did look like he had all day back there. And the reality is he just throws it quickly. It looks like he's got all day, but it's not. It's just they hike the ball and they get the ball out. It just looks like he's got all day because he's got that clean pocket. But I totally appreciate what this guy's saying on that. And look, I actually edited some of that out. The harshest words I took out.
You don't need to hear things like that. You just a boy.
That's right. You're just a boy. You don't need to be hearing things like that. All right. I told you that guy was going to have a great hat. You got to love the hat. The helmet hat is awesome. And the sunglasses and all that. So that's the beauty of YouTube, man. You're going to see some creative stuff. It may not be the best stuff, but it'll be funny and it'll be creative. So I totally understand these guys being upset. Hey, look, I've been dealing with it for 15 years with Alabama. You can deal with it for 5 freaking minutes, okay? You'll get over it. I promise you. You always do. I like the guy that can't wait to see us in the SEC. I hope you do see us in the SEC tournament. That'll be fine. Now let's talk about the kick. My brother was at the game, and of course he said it was unbelievable. Both my brothers were smoking cigars. And he said the wind was blowing like crazy down there. And when the Alabama guy kicked it, there was a gust of wind that hit that ball. If you noticed, it moved harshly to the right as soon as he kicked it. And I saw that too, and I thought, man, that was kind of weird. And it never did hook back in. Well, he said there was about a 20-mile-an-hour gust there. And he said when our guy kicked it, it actually went underneath the wind. When he hit that helicopter kick that somehow managed to go 45 yards, it only needed to go 41, but it managed to go 45 while it helicoptered through that thing. He said that was so low the wind couldn't touch it. So I think we had a little bit of divine intervention, which is understandable because the entire country was rooting for UT, and the only people that were rooting for Alabama were in Birmingham and places like that. Because I can tell you right now, every single crowd base all over the country was rooting for UT because Alabama is, hey, it's Emperor Palpatine. He is Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah. Only now, at the end, damned.
That's right. That's what he's been doing to us for 15 years, but we finally did this to him. Yep. Just threw him right down the hole. And he said you saw the celebration. He said he must have hugged 20 people. He said it was unbelievable how wild it was. But my brother is strongly recovering from battered Vols syndrome. He's really is. I think he's almost cured of it. And if this year keeps going the way that it is, I don't think we're going to have to worry about battered Vols syndrome much longer. Just keep Josh Heupel. Keep Josh Heupel. Make sure you do that. Just do that one thing. You got one job to do, Tennessee, University of Tennessee. Sign Josh Heupel to a long-term deal. Just make sure that's taken care of. If you do that, we're going to be fine. All right, folks, I thought I'd bring you some of those Bama fan reactions. It was kind of interesting. Sometimes I like to do that. I like to go behind enemy lines, so to speak, and check out the competition. And they probably do that to us too, which is fine. Hey, look, it's fun competition when it's all said and done. But everybody likes to get all fired up about it, and so do I. Look, I'm just as guilty as they are. And I'm really not making fun of them because, hey, I'm just as bad. We're all just as bad as that. But I thought it'd be fun to kind of take a look and see how they reacted to that loss because they're not used to losing, and they're real bad at it, which is, I think, funny. But if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover the Vols. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I've only been doing this a few months, and I could really use some subscribers. I would appreciate it. And I hope you did like the content. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.